everybody, Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me, and this is the card that I am making today. What I'm going to be using today, I have my card base. It's thick very vanilla, and I've cut my card to 11.5 inches by 4 inches, and I've scored and folded it at 5 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to cover the entire card front in crumb cake, so this is 4 inches by 5 3/4. And then my matting layer is going to be 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, and this is real red. I have some very vanilla, ordinary very vanilla for stamping on, and I'm going to use my Spirited Snowmen. I have Memento black ink and Whisper white ink, Curls and Swirls embossing folder, classic weave ribbon in crumb cake, and I have my layering ovals framelets. And I'm going to be using some other things that I haven't got here. I've got a piece of Whisper white that I'm going to be colouring in with my inks, and I'm going to have some shades of blue ink, blue and blue green, so I think I'm going to use Mint Macaron, probably going to use Coastal Cabana and Pool Party for my colours. I'm going to be using my Stampin' Blends markers, and I'm also going to be using some of the Champagne Mist shimmer paint. This is ordinary Whisper white, and I've already managed to make a mark on it, but that's not a problem because I've cut this to a little bit bigger than I want it to be so that I can trim away the edges later on. And I've got my 3 inks all ready to go. So I've got Pool Party, Coastal Cabana and Mint Macaron, and I've got some of this. This is just ordinary glycerin, or glycerine, depending on how you like to pronounce it. And the stuff that you get in the supermarket for doing, putting into icing or frosting, that's absolutely fine. But actually, you'll get a bigger bottle if you go to the pharmacist. Or you'll get an even bigger bottle if you do like I did and go online. I just decanted mine into a smaller bottle for convenience. So I'm just putting down my Pool Party ink onto my craft mat, and I'm just going to pick up that little dollop of glycerine onto my sponge, and I'm going to pick up my ink onto my sponge. And now I'm just going to start to blend this on to my Whisper white card, and it goes on, honestly, it's like a dream. And it just works so beautifully. Just look at that. And apparently this technique has been around for quite some time, and I didn't know about it. Alright, I just saw a YouTube video, and I can't remember off the top of my head whose video it was, but I will credit that lady. I do know it was another Stampin' Up demonstrator. And then when I did a little bit of research, there were loads of videos, and how did I miss this? Alright, I'm going to go all over with the Coastal, not the Coastal Cabana, with the Pool Party. And now I'm going to bring in my Coastal Cabana. Now that card is now very soft and very pliable. That's because of the glycerine, and another reason why I've got an awful lot of glycerine around the house is because I've enjoyed playing with the faux leather technique, where you spray your card with a mixture of water and glycerin to soften it. And I'm pretty sure I've put a video on that. Right, okay. So this is alcohol and champagne mist shimmering paint. I'm giving it a jolly good shake, and I'm just going to spray that on top of my card, and I'm then going to clean the nozzle by holding my bottle upside down and spraying into a piece of tissue until nothing else comes out of the nozzle. Alright, and the reason why I'm doing that is because mica, which is what makes the sparkle in the paint, is mineral. It's not soluble in water, and if I leave it there, it will dry in the nozzle of my spritzer, and it will eventually clog up my spritzer, and I won't be able to use it anymore. I have to throw it away. So I'd rather waste a little bit of alcohol than have to buy a new spritzer. So I'm going to give that a good long time to dry, and then I'm going to see what I can use it for. Before I set that on one side to dry, I added a little bit of Pacific Point to it. I didn't add any glycerine to Pacific Point ink, and in fact I just picked up a sponge that had some ink on it, didn't add any more, and just kind of lightly brushed it over the top because I thought it was too green the way it was before. I wanted a bit more blue in it. And as you can see, that champagne frost is sparkling. Can I catch it in the light for you? I'm not sure. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but trust me, in real life that is very, very sparkly. It's a kind of a wink of Stella effect. It's not in your face, it's quite subtle, but it's there, and it's very, very pretty. And I just want to bring this piece in, which is another piece I did, and this one is more mint macaron, and round the edge I sponged it very lightly with a little bit of Night of Navy. So this was mint macaron and Pool Party, no Coastal Cabana. And this one I spritzed with the white frost paint, and that's got a different kind of effect. This one is more pearly, this one is more shimmery. Alright, so I'm going to put that one on side. I'm not going to use that one today, and I'm only going to be using about a half of this. So I'm just going to bring in my trimmer, and I want it that way because I am right-handed. And let's cut off about 2.5 inches of that, maybe 2 3/4. That's the okay. Okay, so which piece do I want to keep? I'm going to use this piece, I think. I shall put that one on one side. I shall do something else with it. And I think I need to change the blade in my trimmer because that hasn't cut very well at all. So I shall do that later. Okay, I have my Whisper White ink, and I have the Snowflakes stamp, which is in that Spirited Snowman set. And I am just going to add some snowflakes here and there, and I'm going to stamp off and I'm going to turn the stamp around from place to place. And I think one more lot should do it. Okay, let's do it sideways this time. That way. In here, and in here, and in here. And I'm going to put that on one side for this to dry because it is a craft ink and it takes a little bit longer than our all-purpose inks. I stamped my snow people image onto Very Vanilla card, and I used Memento ink. And now I'm colouring them in using my Stampin' blends. So I'm using dark and light soft suede. I'm also using some light crumb cake, and I think that is light Bermuda Bay and dark Bermuda Bay. Cherry cobbler, this is light cherry cobbler, and I'm also adding some dark cherry cobbler in there as well, and a little bit more of the soft suede just to give that a bit of emphasis. This is Old Olive, and now I'm using pumpkin pie. That's dark pumpkin pie, I think, and light Old Olive, and on his hatband as well. So this is dark Pool Party, I think it's dark Pool Party, and light Pool Party, just to give it a little bit of shape and a little bit of shadow. And now I'm coming in with the dark Old Olive and the, I think that is crumb cake, or is it smoky slate? I can't tell from here, can't remember. It's one of those. And this is definitely light smoky slate. And I'm just going all the way around the outline, because that will help me when I come to cut it out. And just finishing off with a little bit of my colour lifter just to blend all of the colours together. I've got the largest of the layering ovals framelets, and I'm going to take my real red card over to the Big Shot, and I'm going to cut an oval out of that. And while I'm over at the Big Shot, I'm going to use the Curls and Swirls embossing folder. Now this is an ordinary embossing folder, it's not one of the dynamic ones, so I'm going to need both of my cutting plates on that one. And I'm going to do it in the order of cut first and then emboss, because if I embossed first and then cut, I would squash out all of my embossing. I'm going to go away and do that, be back in a minute. And as I just started, the bell rang. It was postman with parcel for me. So I've gone ahead and I've finished off the oval on the inside, and I've just gone round the outside with my dauber as well, and I'm deciding whether or not I'm going to do the snowman, and I think I will. So just very lightly, just sponging around the edge. Actually, they're snow people, aren't they? Because I think that's a snow lady. She's wearing a very pretty hat. And as you can see, I've cut into my snowman when I was fussy cutting him out. So this is just going to give them a little bit of depth and definition and help them to stand out a little bit more. And it's also going to make them look slightly antiqued if I do that and just rub a little bit. Just very lightly. Just here and there, just makes them look a little bit, you know, a little bit old and aged and antiqued. And I kind of want that look, I think. And I used soft suede for that. I don't think I said. Okay, so we're getting there. Alright, so now I'm going to take my oval onto my sponged and stamped piece. I'm just going to mark it very lightly. Just trying to find my pencil. Here we go. Okay. So now I'm going to decide whereabouts I want things to be, and I'm just going to mark very, very lightly with my pencil. It's just going to give me an idea of where I can stamp, because I now have my Love Never Melts stamp, which I'm inking up in my tuxedo black, and I'm going to kind of arrange this sort of where I can see it and hope I get it straight. So straight down and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the ink to transfer, and there we go. Alright, So now I can start to assemble things. So I'm going to have my snow couple. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive along the base there and slide this into my real red where I want them. So they're kind of coming in the frame and out of the frame, and I am going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive on my finger, just a tiny, tiny bit. And I'm just going to put that on that little bit that sticks out there, just to anchor it a little. And same thing on this one. Just to anchor it in place. Okay. And now a little bit on the back of their hats. I think I need to clean out the nozzle of my glue bottle just for a second. There we go, that's better. That's much more like it, isn't it? There we go. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that so pretty? And I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can see that shimmer spray that's sparkling in the background there. Okay. So now let's have a length of the my ribbon here. And some tape. And actually there's a little bit of, put a little bit of liquid adhesive there as well. That'll help hold it down. And I've probably got more ribbon than I actually need here, and I've definitely got more tape than I actually need. I just need to hold the ends down. And I'm going to get another length of my ribbon, and I'm just going to tie a knot just onto the ends there. And I'm trimming away the bits I don't want. And now hopefully it looks like I've taken two ends of ribbon and tied it around the card, but actually it was a cheetah. Okay. So to finish it off, I'm putting liquid adhesive around the back of the card, and that is flapping around a little bit there, so I don't like it. So I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive wherever I want it, and try not to get it where I don't want it, but it dries clear, so we won't worry unduly about that. And I can't help myself. I'm going to do a little bit more sponging with my soft suede, just very lightly around the edge of the card, just to give it some definition. And on the edge of the ribbon too, why not? I'm going to step away from the finger dauber and bring in my card. Bring all of that together. And I'm going to call that finished. And there it is. That is the finished card, and not particularly Christmassy as such. Would be a nice card to send to somebody who's having a winter wedding. You could maybe change the colours up a little bit, or just to send to somebody to tell them that you love them. So that is it for today. I do hope that you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.